Hello everyone, my name is Bridget, and today we're going to be talking about the black moon, the dark moon, and the energies of it. It might be something that you've never heard about. Often, the new moon, and especially the full moon, are talked about all the time. There's all these ceremonies, there's all these different meditations, all these different things happening for those cycles, which is significant, and it's extremely potent to tap into the full cycle, all of the rhythms of the moon, which each have a purpose, are each critical and necessary to then get you to the optimal energy and availability of what you will need on that full moon or need on that new moon. So the waxing energy of the moon, the waning energy of the moon, the black moon, the dark moon that we're going to be talking about in this video, each of them are critical and can't be overlooked so that you can make the most of this syncing and merging with the moon. The moon has been a super potent, helpful, exquisite ally on my path, and I work with it in so many different ways, especially as a woman and in everything that I do, really. So I created a moon magic and ritual course for you to really tune in to the deep magic of the moon and all of her cycles, so you can click the link down below to check that out. It is full of so much goodness that you probably have not heard before, so go check that out. So now on to this black moon, right? So let's go into a little history time for just a moment so that we can understand why you probably have not heard about it and why it's not often talked about. Most of the earth pagan type traditions were wiped out by many of different peoples over the centuries for different other religious reasons, etc., etc. And those earth traditions, which when they're connected to the earth, they're also extremely connected to the celestial bodies. They remember how to work with these rhythms, which are super powerful and create stargates and gateways that are extraordinary and potent. So these traditions have gotten knocked out and certain things didn't, right? Certain things got remembered, like celebrating the full moon, for instance. But the other nuances in between, in many ways, did. One of the schools that I've studied a lot is the ancient Toltec tradition, which was pre-Mayan, so in that area of the world. And one of the things that has continued to come through that didn't quite get wiped out, like pagan traditions and other traditions around the world, is this idea of how to utilize the moon and the five phases of the moon. Interesting, we have 5 fingers, which is one of the ways that you actually charge your energy, is utilizing the energy through your fingers, which I talk about in the course. Moving on. So this black moon energy is one of the phases that has been forgotten. And when we forget a certain part, the whole thing doesn't quite work. So in the Toltec tradition, okay, this gets interesting. In the Toltec tradition, they talk about the black moon, which is that time, the day before the new moon, when there is no moon, right? It's just complete blackness. And that is a really potent time for destruction, for complete letting go. Now, it only makes sense when we think of the different rhythms of the moon cycle. If the full moon is the complete fruition and fullness and ability to physically create life. It's often when women are ovulating and it's a great time for conception. So it's a great time to seed physically new life. The black moon is the counterpart to that. The black moon is the time of destruction, right? If that's the creation into physical reality, then that would be the destruction. So that's what they talk about in the Toltec tradition and how you can utilize this. And if you think about it, it makes sense because you're going, okay, new moon, set new intentions, seed new things, and then that's growing, and then it grows to fruition, and then it's waning. But where is that destruction part, right? And so that's a really critical energy to key into. Now, it goes a step deeper, which is so interesting. And I actually received this information from the moon herself when I was communing with her about this topic. So the key is to understand, again, going back historically, to understand what the moon is telling us when we're talking about this 5th forgotten phase, is that the Spanish came over and conquered. And just like any other place, they wanted to wipe out the magic traditions, the old traditions, and install Catholicism around and a different kind of religion. So they wanted to wipe out the magic. They also wanted to wipe out the feminine. That's one of the big things that they're wanting to do with these traditions, is wipe out the power of the feminine, which is immense. It's creation energy. It's so potent. So it makes sense. So they're wanting to wipe that out. So the perspective or the interpretation and distortion that then comes through with the remaining vestige of this idea of the black moon and this fifth phase is coming through the interpretation of the masculine, which is okay. It's just that there's a piece missing in this. So the interpretation of the masculine is that this black moon is the phase of destruction and destroy, right? The very yang energy around it, which is the case, right? When we look at the god Shiva, we see the god of creation and the god of destruction. So there's both sides to that coin. Now, there's a greater nuance when we connect into the feminine interpretation, the feminine communication from the moon herself about this phase, which is destruction is one interpretation, but it's actually about merging back into the void. So when we surrender and we completely let go of that which no longer serves us, of that which we're trying to control, etc., 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 we merge back into the cosmic womb, into the void. And that is actually the pre-space of creation. When a seed is planted in the ground, it needs that blackness, that fertility that is available in the earth womb mother, and the pressure to then actually sprout. We think of sprout as the creation, but it's actually in that energetic void womb space that creates the template, the imprint, the morphogenetic of then what that can be. So that is a critical aspect of the potency of this fifth phase as well, which you can tune into. So you may have never even tapped into this, and we're just going for it in this first explanation. So I invite you to tune in at this time, the time when you can see that the moon is at almost zero or at zero at this black moon phase before the new moon starts, to tap into this cosmic void, this pregnant potential energy of the cosmic womb, of the cosmic mother that is being shown to us, reflected to us through the celestial body of the moon, and tap into that portal energy and ride that into the new moon phase. And by doing that, the amount then of the physical fruition energy, right? That's the energetic fruition energy. The full fruition energy of the full moon can then be realized during that other point of the moon. So tune into this, play with it. This is a time where you can also use that yang aspect and write a list of those things that you want to completely let go, obliterate in your life and burn it. You can use that intensity with it as well, and you can use it to completely surrender. I invite you to remember with all of your being that always remembers our connection with earth, our connection with moon, our connection with the stars, to sync with these energies and these rhythms and these communications during that time. And you're likely doing it at the other times. So just incorporating this other rhythm, see what it does for you, see what comes with just the realization, just the opening of this concept right now. Maybe it's just conceptual. And I'm sure that you're feeling also the transmission, connecting in with this energy, and see how it moves you, and tune into her, tune into that moon aspect in that phase, and see what comes through. If you'd like to go deeper and understand how to really let in the energies and different ceremonies you can use, different exercises to really sync and utilize the full potential of all of the 5 moon cycles, I suggest clicking that link down below and getting my Moon Magic and Ritual course, which is so rich and so full of so much good content. There's also a bonus crystal and instructing mini course in there for free. So it's stocked full of a lot of beautiful, rich content for you. So go check it out. And thank you so much for watching this video. This is so fun to bring through. This is what it's all about, is this remembrance, and we're all doing it. So tune into these things and see what you can remember and bring and seed back into the collective consciousness, because it is so needed right now. Please comment below. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if there's any energies that came up in you. If you've connected to this fifth rhythm already, awesome. I would love to hear it. So comment below. Hit that like button. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell button so you get notifications every time I do new videos. And as the algorithms change, I really do suggest going down below and getting my free meditation so that you can be on my email list and we can be in contact no matter what happens in the world, digital or physical. Sending you lots of love, and I'll talk to you next time.